High school graduate? Are you kidding me?
The female department head from the client company hurled scalding hot coffee at me along with her clearly disdainful words. It was an unrelenting baptism from this woman, whom I met again at a luxury hotel recommended by my boss. Seeing this, the beautiful receptionist accompanying the female department head exclaimed in a flustered voice,
This is going to be a big deal.
Huh? Shut up.
The female department head, with a condescending attitude, dismissed her.
I understand your feelings well. I will take it back to our company and consider it.
What do you think a mere high school graduate can do?
Even as I was being taken back by my boss, the female department head never changed her attitude toward me until the end. However, after this, the female department head made a surprising turnaround.
I am very sorry for what happened the other day. Could you please consider the arranged marriage?
And it was too late now, as the female department head suffered an unexpected punishment. My name is Michael. I am 41 years old and just entered my early 40s, working in sales for a music company called SNJ in New York. I may be boasting, but I am supposedly considered handsome, with younger female employees often saying I look like an actor in a drama. While working at the company or visiting other companies for sales, I often feel the intense stares and hear the whispers from women, especially those a decade younger. As a man, I don't dislike this feeling, but it does make my back itch uncomfortably. Well, I wouldn't say I like it either. This is probably the sadness of a man who couldn't experience any romance until he became an old man. And the things attracted to a handsome guy are not always good, like the hot stares and words from these women. An event made me realize this. One of SNJ's clients is a company called DCB. DCB is well regarded not only for its track record in the music industry, but also for its reputation. In fact, it ranks high on popular company lists in New York on job search sites and reviews. I've been to DCB several times for sales work, but there's actually a rather troublesome individual in this company. Recently, I've been struggling to deal with her.
Michael, I need to check something about this product.
Yes, Ms. Davis. Today, in the reception room at DCB, the female department head, Susan Davis, who was about 3 years older than me, was complaining across the table. This woman is the troublesome presence that's been giving me a hard time.
What is this product? How dare you bring something of this quality to us?
Excuse me? I'm sorry. Just a moment. Excuse me, but you haven't seen much of it yet, have you? And this was finished according to your company's order.
It's so sloppy that I can't even bear to look at it, which is why I'm telling you this. How many years have we been relying on your company? I've always thought your work is nothing but shoddy.
Susan showered me with harsh words as she looked at the product sample I had brought. By the way, being showered with harsh words like this isn't a one-time or two-time occurrence. Ms. Davis, with all due respect, this product was meticulously finished to match your company's order. Yet, complaining about it without even fully examining it is incredibly disrespectful, don't you think?
Oh, so you're saying my eyes are blind? You've got some nerve talking like that to a client, especially when you're just a supplier.
That's not what I'm saying. What I mean is, I'd like you to fully review the product and give it a fair evaluation.
Stop whining. Anyway, if I say it's bad, it's bad. If you keep complaining, I'll cancel the contract right now. If you don't want that, redo it by tomorrow.
No matter how much I tried to persuade her, Susan maintained her arrogant attitude and ended the conversation with more harsh words and unreasonable demands to redo the work. This kind of overbearing treatment happened almost every time I went to DCB for work. piling up my stress. Incidentally, Susan's overbearing treatment wasn't just directed at me. She treated all employees who went to DCB for sales the same way. For example, one day, a male colleague of mine experienced such treatment.
You think such a shabby product can be proudly presented to event guests? Redo it from scratch. For next week's joint event, we're putting in all-nighters to produce high-quality items. You should know we can't present anything that lacks excitement.
But Ms. Davis, it's simply impossible to remake it with higher quality in such a short time. Our company is also working on several other products for next week's event.
That's none of our concern. If you don't have time, just cut your breaks and make time for production. You people are so incompetent.
My colleague tried to appease Susan and steer the conversation in a better direction, but was overwhelmed by her relentless tirade. And then, on another day, a newly hired female employee faced this kind of treatment.
Excuse me, Ms. Davis. I brought a sample of the new product today.
Huh? Who are you? I don't recognize your face. I don't have time to deal with such clueless and dense people from your company. Come back some other time and leave now.
Oh, but we have a sample of the new product your company ordered.
Persistent, aren't you? I don't have time to deal with someone like you. If you keep standing there whining, I'll send a complaint.
The new employee, who seemed timid, was thoroughly browbeaten with threats of complaints and contract termination, and was sent packing. To make matters worse, Susan's tyrannical behavior wasn't just directed at us at SNJ or other companies, it extended to DCB's own employees as well. For example, one weekend, I met Rachel, a receptionist at DCB, and her colleagues at a cafe in New York City, and listened to their stories over tea. Rachel, did Ms. Davis give you a hard time again the other day? When I asked this as a test, Rachel and the others blushed with embarrassment and nodded.
Yes, I'm embarrassed to say.
First, let me tell you my story.
The timid-looking Mark spoke up. According to him, just the other day, right before a meeting, Susan suddenly ordered him to copy the meeting materials. She demanded an enormous amount of copies, and by the time he finished, he was inevitably 1 minute late for the meeting. Despite the unreasonable demand and the fact that he was only 1 minute late, Susan gave Mark an incredibly unjust order.
Being late to a meeting, even by 1 minute, shows a severe lack of awareness as a DCB employee, and, more importantly, as a professional. As punishment, shave your head by tomorrow.
He protested the unfair order, but ultimately couldn't defy Susan and had to shave his head. Since then, he has been wearing a wig to work, hiding his shaved head, and he shared this tearfully.
In your case, it's just hair. You can cover it with a wig until it grows back. But for me,
Amy, who seemed more composed, sighed and started speaking. Recently, she has been called by Susan to do things like this.
For lunch, get me the Sunshine Special Mixed Fried Cutlet Sandwich Box, a pack of cigarettes, this month's issue of Weekly Pumpkin, and the tickets for that theater-style aquarium I mentioned before. Get all of these within 30 minutes.
Yes, Susan has been making her run all over the place, using Amy's money to buy things completely unrelated to work. Amy complained about being treated like an errand runner.
I get it, but my situation is tougher.
Hearing their stories, Rachel, determined not to lose, spoke up. According to Rachel, at least 2 or 3 times a week, Susan unexpectedly says something like this to her after work.
Oh, Rachel, here you are. Let's go enjoy ourselves at our usual bar today.
Oh well, I actually have plans after this.
What? You're not saying you can't enjoy a burger and drinks with me, are you?
No, not at all. I'll go, of course, I'll go.
Because Rachel and Susan live in the same direction, she gets invited to the bar almost every week, where she's made to eat burgers and drink, while listening to Susan's complaints. Because of this, Rachel's health is almost always terrible the day after these outings, leading to more absences and early leaves from work, which is a constant headache for her. After hearing about Susan's outrageous behavior from Rachel and the others, I decided to boldly ask a question. If your boss is that awful, why don't you consult a lawyer or sue?
We've tried that many times, but there are people who would be in trouble if Susan got fired, and those people are in upper management.
Rachel looked down as she replied to me, and her colleagues also looked down with expressions of frustration. Apparently, Susan has the skills to perform as a department head and has numerous achievements that DCB can't manage without her. Moreover, because of her achievements, the CEO and senior executives are lenient with Susan, and no matter how much she misbehaves, they just say things like, "If you're frustrated, try to earn as much as Susan does." This only increased the dissatisfaction and anger among DCB's regular employees, including Rachel, as they grew more exhausted. But they felt helpless, with no choice but to either suffer in silence or quit and find another job. Hearing about DCB's situation from Rachel and the others, I was pondering what to do when finally the incident happened. The day before the incident, SNJ CEO Paul Rivers approached me.
Hey, Michael, do you know about the party being held at the Princess Hotel tomorrow?
What? Yes, I do. Why do you ask? Princess Hotel is one of the most popular and renowned luxury hotels in New York City. There, a party is being held with the presidents and executives from multiple companies, including SMJ and DCB, to foster intercompany relationships and select major clients through matchmaking.
Actually, one of the men who was supposed to attend couldn't make it due to a family emergency. So, it's a bit of a pinch hitter situation, but could you attend in his place?
What? But even if one person is absent, there shouldn't be a problem with the number of attendees, especially since you will be attending, Paul. No offense, but you are much more impressive than I am. Yes, Paul is 54 years old, but looks far younger, and he's more popular than me. In his younger days, he was a model with a smart look and demeanor, and he was incredibly active in high society, earning the nickname Prince among the ladies.
If I could do that, it wouldn't be so hard. But the party requires a specific number of men and women. Plus, since it's a well-known party with many companies in New York participating, it would be problematic if we don't attend.
Ah, yes. I believe the party is hosted by a company that's popular for both private and business matchmaking.
And since DCB is participating, I don't want to make you or anyone else uncomfortable. But since our company's performance has improved, we've become somewhat well-known. That's why the host company wants us to participate. Just this once, could you please be the pinch hitter?
Paul is not only popular as a businessman, but also genuinely cares about us employees. Because it was a request from him, I struggled with what to do, but I decided to take on the pinch hitter role. The next day, at the party at Princess Hotel with Paul and others, I encountered someone I didn't want to see.
Oh, I was wondering who it is. Isn't it Michael? Are you attending this party too?
To my dismay, Susan from DCB was there as a participant. There were a few other participants from DCB, including Rachel, but unfortunately, except for Rachel, they all had similar unpleasant personalities and attitudes as Susan. My bad feeling about this group quickly turned into reality.
High school graduate? Are you kidding me?
While I was talking with a woman from another company, Susan, who happened to be nearby, overheard my background and immediately threw her coffee at me. The scalding hot coffee hit me, causing me to recoil, and the woman I was talking to also got splashed and screamed, recoiling as well.
Oh, Michael, are you okay?
Hey, what are you doing, Miss Davis?
What on earth is going on? As Paul, my colleagues, and Rachel rushed over, I protested while feeling the burn on my right cheek and left hand. Susan, however, showed no remorse and retorted,
No wonder I'm so disappointed. Did you get in through some backdoor connection with just a high school diploma? Is that why you can only do such subpar work? It's ridiculous for someone as low as you to be attending this party.
Other DCB employees who had gathered around laughed along with Susan, saying, "That's right, and he's totally out of place here." Hearing this, Paul's face grew stern, and Rachel, unable to stand it any longer, shouted at Susan,
Miss Davis, do you realize where you are? This is going to be a big deal.
Huh? Shut up. You're just a useless receptionist.
Susan didn't hold back from verbally abusing Rachel either.
Know your place. The only reason you're here is because of your looks, suitable for a matchmaking event to land big clients, and because of the goodwill of the company leaders. If you forget that, you'll lose your standing in the future.
Rachel was stunned by Susan's unabashed insults. And just as I was about to shout in anger, Paul stepped forward.
Ms. Davis, are you saying that your words and actions toward Michael earlier reflect the stance of DCB?
Susan was momentarily taken aback by Paul's sharp gaze, but she quickly straightened up.
And if that's the case, what are you going to do about it? I don't believe I've said anything wrong. This party isn't just about matchmaking, it's about determining the future of each company involved, including ours.
I see. So you have no intention of apologizing for your actions and words earlier?
Persistent, aren't you? Don't make me repeat myself. If you have complaints, why don't you take that lowlife employee and leave? We can't waste our precious time on this nonsense.
Emboldened by Susan's arrogance, the other DCB employees, except Rachel, chimed in with agreement and jeers at Paul. Then he turned to Susan and said,
I understand what you're saying. In that case, we will take our leave, and we will reconsider our future relationship with your company, including this incident.
What?
Susan scoffed, but Paul ignored her and told us, "Let's go." Shocked by Susan's behavior, my colleagues and I quickly followed Paul out of the venue.
A company that keeps incompetent high school graduates. What can they possibly achieve? Do as you please. You'll regret it.
Susan and her like-minded colleagues laughed loudly behind us, but we pretended not to hear and hurried out of the hotel. In the taxi on the way to the hospital to treat my burns, Paul spoke to me.
Michael, are you okay? I'm sorry. This wouldn't have happened if I hadn't asked you to fill in.
"No, I'm fine, and you have nothing to apologize for, Paul. But are you okay? You said some pretty strong words back there." As I asked him, he gave me a reassuring smile.
I'm fine. And as for that woman, Susan, she dug her own grave with her arrogance.
Dug her own grave?
Yes, as she said, that party was for choosing and securing major clients. It wasn't just a matchmaking event. In a place filled with such important potential clients, what do you think happens when someone acts like that?
Susan probably thought no one saw her throw coffee at me, but in such a large venue with so many people, some must have seen it. Paul's words made everything click for me. Additionally, the way she heartlessly insulted Rachel and mocked her with the other employees must have shaped the perception of everyone from other companies present. Seeing that I understood, Paul gently patted my shoulder and said,
Don't worry, I'll handle her appropriately, just as she deserves. so you don't need to deal with DCB anymore. Understood, Michael?
Yes. Thank you, Paul. Reassured by his kind words, I focused on treating my burns that day. The next day, following Paul's new policy announcement, we stopped dealing with DCB. Relieved and stress-free, I threw myself into my work for several days. Then, a frantic phone call came in.
Michael Lopez, what did you do?
As soon as I answered, I heard Susan's frantic voice. Oh, well, Miss Susan Davis, what could you possibly need from a lowly high school graduate like me?
Hey, this isn't the time for such stupid jokes.
Oh, I see. My apologies. If there's nothing important, I'll be on my way. I have work to do.
No, wait. Don't you dare try to brush me off like that.
As I tried to brush her off and hang up, Susan, now completely flustered, clung to me. Gone was her previous haughty demeanor. I almost burst out laughing, but then Susan, her voice even more strained, continued without me asking.
After your company cut ties with us following the matchmaking party at Princess Hotel, suddenly, many other companies wanted to cancel their contracts with us too. Now our business is in serious trouble.
Really? Her words confirmed that everything had unfolded just as Paul had predicted. Susan then revealed, in a rush, that the coffee throwing incident had caused DCB to lose the trust of their clients, leading to a cascade of canceled contracts. The upper management at DCB had frantically tried to plead with their clients to reconsider, but the clients refused to listen. When asked for reasons, the clients responded, "We don't want to do business with a company that throws coffee and insults other companies' employees." Realizing they had been too lenient with Susan, DCB's executives severely reprimanded her and tried to mitigate the damage by making her apologize. But their efforts were in vain. In the end, all efforts were futile, and Susan is now facing dismissal and heavy responsibility for damages as the person who caused this crisis.
Why do I have to go through this? I was just putting a lowly high school graduate in his place.
About that lowly high school graduate comment, it seems you still don't realize that your elitist attitude and biased views have brought about this worst-case scenario.
What? In this world, only people who went to college and got a job matter. I'm a department head with a degree from a top university. A winner in life. Of course, I'm allowed to say and do whatever I want.
Just listening to her makes my ears hurt. I was utterly exasperated. I no longer wanted to deal with this woman, whose pride was so twisted, so I decided to end it quickly. I am indeed a high school graduate, but I chose to work after high school to support my family. Thanks to the support of our president, whom I met later, I was able to attend college a few years later.
What?
Susan's voice on the phone sounded like a pigeon hit with a pea shooter. I don't mean to boast, but I was considered a genius by my teachers in middle school, including my homeroom teacher, who said, "With your grades, you can go to a top music high school." However, my father passed away from illness when I was in elementary school, and just before I graduated high school, my mother, who was the breadwinner, had an accident and became paralyzed. To support my mother, I decided to work right after high school. I worked multiple part-time jobs in moving and delivery to make ends meet, took care of my mother, and helped my younger siblings to go to school every day. It was a busy life. It was during this time that I met Paul. Our meeting became a turning point in my life. Additionally, he had been a friend of my father since their student days, and my father, before he passed away from illness, had asked him to help our family. Paul accepted my father's request and supported not only my mother and siblings, but also my school expenses, allowing me to attend college. Because of this, I joined SNJ to repay him and have been working there ever since.
Unbelievable. A high school graduate turning their life around like something out of a drama or novel.
Have you heard the saying, every cloud has a silver lining? It's in any middle school dictionary. Now, if we're done here, I'll take my leave. Please handle the consequences of your actions on your own.
What? Wait a minute. I'm not finished.
Susan started to rant again, but I hung up the phone, blocked her number and email. Finally, some peace and quiet, or so I thought. As I enjoyed a canned coffee during my afternoon break, my phone rang again. Thinking it might be Susan again, I answered, but it was someone unexpected.
Hello, is this Michael?
Oh, Rachel? Is something wrong? Rachel's voice on the other end of the phone was breathless, as if she was running while making the call. Confused by her frantic tone, I listened as Rachel urgently explained.
Michael, Susan is on her way to SNJ right now.
What? Susan? Why?
I'm sorry, but I don't have time to explain. We're rushing to SNJ to follow her. Please don't engage with her no matter what happens until we get there.
Wait, Rachel, what do you mean? Hello, Rachel? Stunned by the sudden turn of events, I tried to get more information from her, but the call ended abruptly, either because she dropped the phone or hung up. Still bewildered, I noticed the commotion downstairs. Despite Rachel's warning, I couldn't help but check out what was happening, so I headed to the entrance. There, I saw a woman struggling against several security guards.
Oh, it's you, Michael. How dare you bring me down to this level?
Seeing me, Susan, the woman causing the commotion, lashed out at me. I had a feeling this might happen after Rachel's call, but for Susan to actually storm into our company, the shock was overwhelming, and my mind struggled to keep up. But then, Susan herself revealed the true reason for the chaos.
Rachel and the other employees suddenly started shouting about suing me. They even brought a lawyer, demanding hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages.
Hearing this, I immediately understood what Rachel had been talking about. She and the others were indeed pursuing Susan, just as they said. That's their rightful claim, and you're just desserts. You've been abusing your power and causing them mental anguish under the guise of work.
Abusing power. They're making a big fuss over nothing. Just like with you, I was only putting those useless employees in their place.
The fact that you can't see that and refuse to take responsibility for your actions. You're finished. Determined to end this once and for all, I walked up to Susan and pointed my finger at her nose. A big fish in a small pond. You've been playing queen in the company pond, oblivious to the real world and human decency. Your behavior has brought this upon yourself.
Michael, you
need to fall to the bottom, experience unemployment and poverty, and learn from the harsh reality of society. And while I am at it, don't ever show your face in front of me or anyone else here again. As soon as I said this, Susan lost it completely, screaming incoherently and struggling even more violently. Additional security guards and the police arrived, along with Rachel and the others, who finally managed to restrain Susan and escort her to a police car. And as she was taken away, Rachel apologized to me along with her colleagues who were around.
On the way here, we stopped by the police station and explained the situation. We rushed over in the patrol car, but we couldn't make it in time. I apologize for the trouble caused. Please leave the rest to the police and us.
No, Rachel, you don't need to apologize. I finally got to say what I wanted to her, and it felt incredibly satisfying. I'll leave the rest to you. I hope you can bring this to a satisfactory conclusion." As I said this, Rachel smiled shyly before she hurried to join her colleagues. Later, with the help of lawyers, Rachel and the others sued Susan for the emotional distress she caused, leaving her with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and homeless. It's said that she now works tirelessly in some faraway city, living in a small apartment to pay off her debts. Not long after Susan's dismissal, DCB, which had coddled her for her abilities, went bankrupt. The reasons were the loss of trust from the Princess Hotel incident caused by coddling Susan, and a severe staff shortage due to the mass resignation of employees, led by Rachel, who had finally had enough. The president and executives of DCB, unable to understand what they had done wrong, scattered and disappeared to various unknown places. On the other hand, SNJ formed new partnerships with companies run by respectable people, from the president to the employees. This led to continued stress-free and stable operations. Moreover, Rachel and other former DCB employees joined SNJ, and this development led to an unexpected but pleasant turn of events. I started dating Rachel. As I told Susan, every cloud has a silver lining. Life is unpredictable, with both good and bad times ahead, but I plan to live true to myself until the end.